first and foremost, what I want you to do is I want you to stop and I want you to just listen because we're going to win some money today. We won money 3 weeks in a row. We're going to win more money. MoneyPot Podcast is a free betting community, sharing, liking, hitting the subscribe button on all your social media platforms. You know what time it is.
Showtime!
Welcome everybody back to another episode of the MoneyPot Podcast Betting Show.
MoneyPot.
I am the host. I'm the CEO. I'm the president. They call me Moss Money. And of course, if you don't have one, you need to get one. I'm telling you right now, you just got to get one. And it's this guy over here, our own professional gambler and bettor and extraordinaire, CSharp. What's up, bro?
What's going on? Another good week.
Another good week, right? It's becoming consistent. Another good week. That's how we start off. Make some money last week. So if you guys are just joining, if you're just watching, that's what we do. We talk about college football on this particular show. We go through our best bets and we give you lines. We even show you what we did last week, which I'm about to do right now. So let me bring up the plays from last week just to show you where we are, where we're standing, and what we're talking about. So I like a little bit of different view. So just stick with me. And then we'll zoom in a little bit here for y'all. So y'all can actually see where we stand and how we stack up against, not only against yourself, but maybe somebody else you guys are watching. Maybe somebody else you guys are looking. And this is why what they don't do, right? They tell you how good they are, but we got to show you how good we are, right? So this is me right here, Moss Money. So far, 7 units up, have a profit of 3.5 units. A little bit okay on the number, probably right around where, a little bit higher to where, went to the wrong one. That was Sharp. We're getting there, Sharpie. Getting there, show them numbers off. Damn, that's Brent. Come on, baby. Let's go back. There we go. 58% on the win-loss number here. Not too bad. Professional gamers hover around. This is more of the high end of where they sit, and then low end, probably like 54, 55%, somewhere in there. If you're hitting almost 60% clip of your number for over the year, right? We're talking about this is 3 weeks, but over the year, you're eating up some money here. So let's go down with my bets from last week. I had a tough week last week, but came back strong this past week. Bama, I didn't even know about. What's his last name? Is it Moreau?
Yeah, Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, Moreau. He was out last week, so the boys kind of came and kind of warned me, said not touching that with a 10-foot pole, and I guess I should have followed the advice, but I didn't. Still went with Bama, so easily lost that one. And then, but all the other ones were great. Colorado over hit, Colorado State over hit, Oregon first quarter. I think a lot of people in the comments really liked that one. That smoked, and I took a gamble, but the gamble paid off. Oregon with that late touchdown late in the fourth quarter. I think it was like a 50, 60-yard bomb. Got me over the number. I think they finished with 55 points, 52.5 total over hit. So went 4 for 1 last week for myself. Like I said, putting myself back over the number at a clean over 3 units. The homie Diddy will be on shortly, but Diddy's having a monster year starting off the gate here. And you know what? One thing I noticed here, Sharp, that I noticed that my frequency of bets are a lot higher than you boys. Like I got 17. You guys both only have 11. I have 6 more bets than you. So I gotta calm that down a little bit and get a little happy. a little happy with this money to spend.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. That's sometimes I think Diddy and I kind of mentioned it. Sometimes you got to simplify your bets instead of maybe trying to overthink the room. Instead of maybe looking to hit the same game 2 or 3 ways, just focus on the best way you think to hit the game and up your units. That's how I tend to think you're going to do the best in the end.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because
I thought you were spot on with Oregon. Like you really saw that game well last week. I thought that was your best bet for sure.
Yeah, and like this week, I'm kind of following that same trend. I have probably 4 best bets, but one of them is a lean, but the 3 of them I could easily take 2 in the same game. So, but let's go to the homie Diddy. 8-3 on the number, great number, 72%. Hopefully he stays on that clip. That's a really, really hot clip. So, if you guys are following and watching right now, make sure if you're following and you're watching, you're just tuning in and we're going through the numbers here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm seeing thousands of people looking at the video, but not hitting the subscribe button. This is what we do. Make sure you hit the notification button so when we do drop videos, you guys are getting the best numbers and the best advice of where to put your money from a betting perspective. So, like I said, Diddy 8-3 so far on the number, 72%. Great clip, up 5 units right now. And Diddy, I must say, 6-1,
great cash, homie.
5-1 out of his last 6. Cincinnati bit him in the butt. Probably Cincinnati bit a lot of people in the butt with that. Who was it? BYU, I think they lost to. I think it was BYU. Yeah, BYU lost too. But other than that, clean sailing on the clip there that he had with Colorado over, Kansas -4.5, and then Cincinnati, the Cincinnati, Penn State, Washington, Duke teaser that actually lost. And Sharp, you just had the one play, but you're still well over 60%. We're only doing this by unit size.
Yeah, I didn't like much last week. I kept it simple, like you were talking.
Yep. And the one play was this the Memphis play. They actually came back and won in a dogfight with Navy.
Just a bad bet on my part. I talked about fading Navy. It was just a bad bet on my part. For halfway in the game, I was like, "This is dead." Memphis Navy's hard to prepare for on a short week. I just thought Memphis was that much better. That was just a bad play on my part. But if you followed us on that same pod, I also gave out the Vikings and for how much to take it for. So if you followed me on that, you should have had a monster week.
Right. And then not even that, you're 4-1-1 on the number in your last 6 as well. So that ain't bad, right? That ain't bad at all. So we're all good there. And like I said, if you're betting and winning 60%, that means every 10 bets you're winning 6. I think you're okay. You're printing money. So that is our week so far. So total across the number, if I'm not mistaken, he was 3-1. He was 2-1. You were 2-2 plus my 4-1. Puts us 6-3 across all 3 of us in college football. And I must say that would have been a good, that would have been a hell of a day, a hell of a week, counting what your betting size is. All right. So enough with the recap here. Let's get to the bets. Let's get to what we are here for. And that's talking week 4, college football. This is when football gets fun, man, because this is where all the conference games are happening. And I'm going to start it off right out the gate because all of us have something on this game, whether it be you, whether it be me, whether it be Diddy. We're all taking part of the festivities with this Colorado versus Oregon game. And as we all know, the crazy, super dirty hit on Hunter has put Hunter out of the not of the season, but out of the next couple games, 3 to 4 games. I think he's out. Injury to the liver and some other internal injuries. I was surprised the kid didn't get thrown out, to be honest with you. I thought that was warranted, and it was late enough for the kid to get thrown out. Unfortunate that he's now starting to see the repercussions of that, getting the death threats and stuff like that. Obviously, that's taking it way too far, in my opinion. These kids, they're still kids. They're playing football. Maybe he was caught in the heat of the moment. Maybe it was just a dirty shot, right? Maybe it was a dirty shot. and there should be possibly some maybe I think maybe some suspension, right? Like a 1 game or 2 game suspension probably would have been warranted, but it didn't happen. So, but let's get to the game. Let's get to the X's and O's and what we're here to talk about. Right now, Oregon is favorite -21. Total is 70. Money line, of course, is -1050. And I think you said something here last week when I was talking about Oregon and how to and what I was seeing to bet Oregon last week. Bo Nix at home is ridiculous, right? He is absolutely insane and ridiculous. And they're going against a Colorado team coming off a tough rivalry game that had high emotion. Colorado's going on the road to Oregon, a top 10 team in the nation, against an offense that puts up 51, 81, 41, going against a defense that can't stop a nosebleed. This game, as Sharp has always said, when he feels it, is going to get out of hand. This game is going to get out of hand. There's a multiple ways of how to bet this, but for me, my best bet of the day is I took it last week. I didn't really sweat it. Well, it was a fourth quarter sweat, but they scored 34 points in the first quarter. For me, though, I'm going right back to the well. I'm taking Oregon, man. It looks like that line dropped a half. I thought it was 46.5, but I'm taking Oregon 45.5 on total team points right here. I think they get to 34 at halftime again. I don't see Colorado stopping Oregon one time. Oregon's going to score every time they have the ball. Every time they have the ball. I don't see this stopping it. I got another play too as well. But for me, my best bet, give me Oregon team total over 45.5. All right. What do you have there, buddy?
Well,
because I looks like I just squashed it. I silenced you. You didn't say shit back. You were quiet.
No,
you were good.
I like 45. I like 45.5. I mean, it's hard for me. So this line couldn't get big enough. I'll just keep it like that. So if you listened to the pod last week, I didn't like the slate last week. I kind of just shoehorned Memphis in there. I even talked about not really loving that line, but I did want some action on Thursday night. But what I did say is you need to stop what you're doing and go take Oregon -14. And that's why I'm on this podcast. So that was free. That's what I call free money. I took that for 20 units. Now I can't give that out at 21, but I would take 21 for 5 to 10 units.
Did I lose you, Sharpie?
This game, I wouldn't even worry about taking, is Oregon going to score 45.5? This game has no chance to, because without Colorado's best player, they're just simply not going to be able to hang with them. This game, they're going to lose by 28-30. This game will be way over 21 by kickoff. Sharp money hasn't even come in to knock it down below 21 yet. So it's not even like it's reached its ceiling, and we're only at Wednesday. Just being national spotlight just took its toll. I knew this was coming. Oregon's going to be back at home. Oregon's going to be waiting on them. Oregon's better than them. Everyone's going to be talking about Shedeur Sanders. Bo Nix is going to take that personal. He's just as good as Shedeur Sanders. He's going to prove it. He's several years older. Deion talks that talk, and I do respect that, but he doesn't have to go out there and play. And his best player took the punishment for flashing rollies, his coach taking shots at other coaches. He doesn't have to go out and play. And guess what? Colorado State made Travis Hunter's liver quiver. So that's a boxing that pretty much ended Colorado's season. If you want line.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
While he's on break, let's talk about that hat you got on there, brother. Looking really nice. Looking spiffy.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, man.
Can
I
you talk
can't
about
zoom
that
in the lights a little.
That MoneyPot?
Yeah, the hat's in. I didn't give you an intro, bro. I was waiting for Sharp to finish, but he kept going off.
Well, hold on. Don't worry about me. Let's talk about this apparel for MoneyPot Podcast. That hat looking real sweet there. Is that like a camo on there?
Yeah, that's a camo. You didn't see this one. You didn't see this one. The one I showed you
I
was a little bit different.
Gray. So I need to go ahead and make sure I purchase one of those MoneyPot Podcast hats, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
for all
Yes.
you listeners out there, they are out here now. They're available. They're looking real sweet. Got them a couple colors, man. Please make sure we support. First, like and subscribe before we do anything. Then we can go and get that apparel. But they look real sweet though. Looking nice.
Man, appreciate it, man. Yeah, we damn, where you go? Sharpie? Sharpie jumping in, jumping out. Um, yeah, no, I appreciate that. Site will be up soon here. So you can get all apparel. We have t-shirts. We got the old looking t-shirts. We got the new Kelly Green t-shirts. Of course, the hats that are now out there as well. So hoodies will be back up there as well. So make sure I will drop something once the site is all said and done for everybody to go ahead and shop with your boys and look fresh like your boys, man, for sure. But not to exclude, because I gotta always do my thing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, they call him Diddy. What's up, boy?
What's up, man? I'm here, man. I'm here. Sorry I'm late, brother. Sorry I'm late.
No, you good, bro. You good. You good. All right, now we got to get the gang back together. We'll bring Sharp back in. There he is.
I think my connection's better. I don't know what was going on.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll see once we do the edits how that looks.
Oh,
Don't worry
that probably
about
came
it.
out bad, but okay.
No, I'll clean it up. I just heard you make his liver quiver. That's what I'm stuck on.
Well,
you know
what I was saying on last pod. This is exactly why I said to take Oregon last week when it was 14. I just had a feeling that all this smack talking, going back and forth between coaches don't have to play. That's why you don't see starting quarterbacks jawing to NFL defensive linemen in the week leading up, because they get killed on the field. Well, Deion did so much talking that Travis Hunter had to take the punishment. And, I know it was a late hit and a dirty hit, but that's football. Like, I think Deion would actually heard Deion say that that's just football. You flash a rollie in preseason and before the game in someone's face, they might make sure you don't play for a month. And now, did I think that was going to happen when I said take Oregon? No. But did I think Colorado being on the national stage week after week and rappers, all these celebrities showing up to the game, like 20-year-old kids cannot sustain that energy for weeks on end. And I just, like I said, the pumpkin, Cinderella her carriage was about to turn into a pumpkin. And it happened on that Travis Hunter hit. I would take this all the way up to 27. Oregon is going to double up this score. And I don't think it gets to 70, because if you go look on third down, every third and +5, they run the same 4 routes for Travis Hunter. It's not like anything special. They either dump it off to the running back or Travis Hunter makes a play. Well, now their best offensive weapon's not there. This game's going to get so out of hand. If I were Colorado in the second half, I would start taking my good players out just so it doesn't end me at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to do that.
Nate, I'm telling you right now, this game will be 56-21.
Yeah, and it's funny you said that, because I'm going to go to my second best bet, but I just want to make sure that I got you set up, because you said a lot. But you already had the early.
Just take it at 21.
Okay, so even though you had the Oregon at -14. But you're
last
okay
week
at
I
20.
put it out there and I said I would take it before it goes, because at kickoff it's going to be a totally different line. So me personally, I have it at 14, but I know we're talking about the pod. If you didn't catch it last week at 14, I would still take it at 21. And this is a multiple unit play. Like, this is free money.
Diddy, talk to me. I know we're all on this game. What you got?
Yeah, man. I agree with Sharp. There, like you said, you make a good point, Sharp. The players do got to play. We all know that was a cheap shot, but when sometimes the gloves are off when you get personal, and Deion said it all week. It is personal, right? So, unfortunately, one of his best players got smacked up on a hit that should have got him out, ejected out of the game, and now Travis Hunter is out for a few weeks. He seems like he's in good spirits. He said it's football. He said, don't worry about it. It's all about football, and he'll be back as soon as he can. But at the end of the day, as you guys know, I don't have Colorado over 5 to 6 wins this season. Yes, they're 3-0. They escaped a not good Colorado State game. And now you're going down to the weeds, and you're playing a team like Oregon at Oregon, which they have no chance there. 21 points is a lot of points. I do agree that they will cover, but that's not where my money will be. My money would be on the team totals over for Oregon and the team total under for Colorado. That's kind of how I see that playing out here. I definitely like at least 2 units on Oregon's team total over. Oregon doesn't let off the gas. They just don't have that in them, no matter who they're playing. But you bring Colorado in the building, and we up in Oregon, they're going to try to put 70 to 80 points on these dudes, regardless. You're not going to hear a whole lot of smack talk from Colorado this week. I guarantee you that. And then you got USC next week. So they're sandwiching between 2 dominant offenses, and Colorado's defense is not good. They let Colorado State go up and down that field at will. Yeah, a couple turnovers happen, luckily for Colorado, but that ain't going to happen this week. Bo Nix is much better. He's more experienced. He's a veteran. And damn near, what, a 5-6 years senior? And he's made a name for himself. And this is what's no better time to continue on that Heisman run, to at least put his name in that bucket to go here and smack Colorado with all the hype going into the season. So continue. Last thing I'm going to say, I appreciate what Deion has done for college football. He's kind of put the spotlight on Colorado for a moment. He's got all the hype, but that's going to settle down in these next 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks. I don't really see him in Arizona State finishing off there either. But we'll talk about that when I get here.
Scroll up. Okay, I see. Well, you see that spread's 20.5.
Well, it's because of the same game parlay. So
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I like what you're doing.
Yeah, this is my second best bet. So let me zoom in just a little bit. Let me see what that looks like.
Did we get the team totals?
Yeah, we got the team totals. It was under the when I first looked at it, it was 46.5, and now it dropped to 45.5. So some money coming in on the other side on Colorado. But there's a couple things I want to talk about here, because there's a second best bet here for me. And Diddy, it's kind of what you were doing in terms of your single bets of going team total over and under. But I want to do it as a same game parlay, but I'm going to add a little bit of money to it. Now, there's 3 different iterations that I came up with. So I want you to walk me through and tell me which one you like. First and foremost, we all agree Oregon's going to put up points. Their number right now is at 45.5. I like them to score 50. So I'm going with over 49.5. I think they score 50 here in this game. I really honestly do think it'll be 34, almost maybe 40-0 by half, possibly. Okay. Now, there's 2 or 3 other ways I could look at this game. I could go with what you're talking about, Diddy, and go total under for Colorado. Now, I don't have a sense of what Colorado's going to be able to do with Oregon. I know we all, Shedeur Sanders is second in the nation in passing. So we all know they're going to throw the ball. They really can't run the ball that well. But we all know they're going to throw the ball, and Hunter is out. So you take a man down, and you really got the one, what's the kid's name? It was Xavier. What's the kid? The other receiver? Weaver. Yeah. So it's going to be easy to scheme up against, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt because they're just going to have more possessions. So he's going to be able to throw the ball, and he's got a good arm. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's got a legit arm there. So what I did was I took a little bit, not got too greedy, but I did under Colorado 30.5, and I get to almost 2-1. It's a really strong bet, I feel.
Yeah, I forgot because I thought one of my best bets, and I didn't even start. I was talking about team totals, was the first half, Oregon first half. I would love that first half there. Would it got to be 11 maybe?
I think it was it 10.5?
Man, smack that. First half for me is love.
So there's one iteration of my bet that I was looking at. Here's another iteration of my bet that I was looking at that I'm starting to really like, because it's just ridiculous how much the odds are. Plus 800, 8-1 for under 70.5 and team total over 49.5. It's just, I don't understand that. Why those odds jumped up so high. Because this is only plus 1. Go ahead.
They're giving you a lot of value, but they're just, they just assume that Colorado is going to be able to score 3 scores.
Yeah,
Like
right.
You're essentially taking Oregon to go over their total and Colorado to go way under their total to hit that small little window. Now, I think this should be like a 4-1 payout, not like an 8-1 payout.
That's what threw me off. I thought it was more like 3 to 4 to 1. But when I saw 8, I was like, oh, that don't make no sense.
Which I could see this. Like, if you're trying to get a little extra value here, like I was saying, like, man, when you go watch the tape of Colorado, every third and 5 or 6 have to have it passing down. Bro, they target Travis Hunter. Like, so to me, it's like Travis Hunter not being there is almost more of an impact on Colorado's offense than like with or without him. They'll just throw to whoever he's not covering on the other side. So even if Hunter's out there, it's not like I thought Colorado at full strength was going to be able to stop Oregon. I think where this hurts Colorado the most is on offense. Am I missing that, or is that kind of how, like, when you guys are handicapping this game, do you see Hunter the receiver being out as the bigger issue, or Hunter as the corner being out? Because to me, it's the receiver aspect.
Then the last couple games, it's been the receiver aspect to me. That's where he's made the most impact.
If they can't sustain drives because they can't throw little slants to his ass because no one's willing to press him, how are they going to move the ball?
Listen, man. Listen, I don't care if Travis Hunter was here. It don't matter. I don't care if they was 100% on both sides of the ball. Oregon is too tough.
Yeah.
Right? That's just what it comes down to. The line spooked up, but I'm not going to read too much into it. Oregon's a better team. The tape is now out on Colorado. That's what you saw last week from Colorado State. The tape's out. Now, they had a great drive. They were impressed. 2-minute, start getting lax in the last drive, fine. But the tape's out. They understand how they can now game plan against Colorado. And that's the problem. That's what you're going to see against Oregon. And then you got to worry about Oregon's offense. Now, granted, Oregon only put up 55 points against Hawaii, and every time they touched the ball, they were scoring. So I don't know what happened late in that second half. So he just got over that 55. I think they could have put up 70 against Hawaii. They didn't. I just think it's going to be a little more personal.
They knew Colorado was coming.
They pulled Nick's late, and then they got that late bomb. There was a late 50, 60-yard bomb because I covered.
So I think this one's a little more personal for Oregon because it's an opportunity for Bo Nix to really show up and let everybody know that, hey, we are the real Pac-12 team. Yeah. We're here to represent. Don't come. You're not going to come to my house huffing and puffing, showing your watches and barking. And I think they're going to get smacked down just because it's a better team, not because I don't like Colorado.
Yeah, and I was talking to a friend about this, and we probably need to move on because we've been on this game for a little bit. But I'll just close out with this. Here's another iteration, right? Oregon first quarter -6.5, and then Oregon over that 49.5. So couple ways to kind of do that. These are all kind of leans to me. Obviously, my best bet was the 45.5 over total. But before we move on,
I like that team prop. I love it. Team prop. They're going to cover the spread. They're going to score a lot of points. I can assure both those things.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next best bet for the next game, I was talking to a friend, and I told him, I was like, Oregon's going to kill Colorado. And he's like, nah, man, they ain't going to do that. It's Deion, man. You don't believe no more. You don't believe. It's not about that, bro. This is football at this point. We're talking about X's and O's. We're talking about who's the better team. Mm-hmm. And Oregon is light years better than Colorado. I'm telling you. And I think Diddy and even Sharp, we're reiterating that for those who are watching right now who are Colorado bettors. We just want you to. We're taking the fanboy out of it. We're taking the Deion love out of it, and we're looking at the game from the numbers and what we're trusting what our eyes are telling us. And our eyes are telling us with or without Travis Hunter, Colorado was going to get killed in this game. Period. Oregon's not going to let off the gas. Up in Eugene, it's going to be a problem. All three of us are on the same side. Well, kind of. Well, Sharp's on the same side, but Sharp's best bet is the line. He got it at -14 early in the bet. Does like the line at -21 at as well. So lock it in. All best bets on the Oregon side. Multiple ways of how you bet this. All right, let's go to the next game. Now I'm gonna go to another game because you both, Sharp and Diddy, you both have takes on this side. So Diddy, I'll go to you first. Talk to me about Maryland and Michigan State.
Yeah. I mean, I think we touched on it last week. We said exactly what was going to happen. Michigan State's a mess. That
Yeah, I should have
coaching
took that
drama
side.
is really crazy going on right there. I think I have my own view on that, but we're not going to get into that discussion. But they moved on from their coach this week. He's been officially fired, so I guess they're turning that page for this Michigan State football team. But regardless of the fact, Maryland is too good. They were always my sleeper in the Big Ten. They're always going to play you tough. Uh, Tua's brother, which is Tuloya Tagovailoa, is doing his thing out there, throwing that ball, shows great arm strength, and I think that's going to be to take advantage of that Michigan State's defense and secondary. I think they're going to have a really big and hard problem. I like Maryland first half here, jumping out on them. The only thing I got to worry about a little bit is that Michigan State home field advantage. I know sometimes, depending on situations, that home field advantage can be tough at Michigan State, and they seem to play games tight there. But after I saw last week what I thought was going to happen and watching them come in there and smacking the mess out of them, and then showing that they had no offensive production against that Washington's defense, I think they're going to struggle against Maryland coming in too with that high powering offense. I like that first half for Maryland as a best bet.
Sharp, same
That
side,
number
or you
should
got something different?
That number should be about
No,
4
this
or
is
3.5.
yeah. I like 4-3. I'm with you. I'm betting it differently. So just kind of going off last week. Last week, kind of talked about Michigan State sucking. Kind of talked about the other line in a teaser. And then as I was sitting there, remember one of my other bets I was mulling over was Maryland. They were sitting there at 14.5. I was saying set updates for if it goes to 14, bet it at 13.5. That actually did happen. I don't know if how many of our listeners did set that up. But that line did get to 14, and I did bet Maryland last week at 13.5 on Friday. And I just think it turned out that I'm not going to miss more value on Maryland. Like Michigan State, the bottom hasn't quite fallen out. I don't think the market's where it should be. I think Maryland should be favored by 10, and I still would probably have fired at 10. I just think this is a mismatch. I think Maryland is – like we talked about on our Big Ten kind of preview show, I think Maryland's an above average, middle of the road Big Ten Power 5 team. And I think Michigan State pre-Mel Tucker scandal was already a sinking ship. And this just, set that ship ablaze. So this game's going to get out of hand. They still haven't kind of steadied the ship in terms of who they're going to hire. They've got a couple guys that have experience that are trying to fix what's going on, but in 2 weeks' time, I mean, you're just not going to be able to fix what's going on. And this is just a bad matchup, even if everything was good for Michigan State. So, man, Maryland's going to win by 2 touchdowns easy.
I like this confidence I'm hearing.
I should have bet Maryland a little bigger. I shouldn't have let 14.5 scare me away last week on the pod, and I'm not going to let 7.5 scare me away. They're just going to win by 2 scores. Book it.
All right, let's keep this train moving. I don't have as much bet as you guys do. I really only have 3 best bets and a teaser. So, we'll go back to you, Diddy, because you've been leading the charge. Like I told everybody before, 5-1 in your last 6 plays, clipping over 70%, man. So
Hold on.
Oh, what? Oh, you need me to repeat
say that one more
Really?
time? Say that
Really?
one more time. My bad.
Really?
You said 5-1?
Hold on. Oh, no. Do you believe that?
5-1 in the last 6, yes.
That boy,
5-1
I surprise myself sometimes. Boy, that boy.
Well, the K-State loss was
there.
a tough one, though. We did talk about that one. Hey, I will say, remember we talked last pod, Missouri. Remember I was saying, how is Missouri's offense so bad? It turns out their offense isn't so bad.
Yeah, that was crazy. Come on, a 60-yarder, bro. Come on.
Yeah, that was crazy.
All right, bro. 60
but I
yards.
will say,
right.
we talked
you
about,
got it.
Hey,
That's one of them things you'd be like, all right,
fans,
you got it, bro. You got it. It shouldn't have been that close.
NFL fans, Luther Burden, keep that name. I mentioned it on the pod. Luther Burden, the kid's a stud. He's going to be a top 40 draft pick. Watch him. He's going to the NFL. If your team drafts him, you're going to be happy.
All right, let's swing it back. I know we bounced around a little bit. I wanted to go to the 2 games that you guys both had, but now we start to kind of get a little bit different on what games that we're targeting. Diddy, best bet, 12 o'clock, right at the top. Florida State, Clemson. Talk to him.
Yeah, man. I put Florida State in that. For me, Florida State and Texas are in that same boat, right? I just don't know enough from these two teams yet. I don't necessarily trust them enough either, right? I'm not really a fan of either of their quarterbacks. I think they're good at spots and times, and can they lead their teams to victory? I know this is not about Texas right now, but this is about Florida State. But Florida State playing this Clemson team, Clemson is on their rebuild mode, unfortunately. That quarterback right now is lost in the sauce. I think they thought he was going to be that next guy coming up. I don't think they have enough confidence in him. They're trying to force some things down the field. He's just not able to do it. I don't know if he's not able to see it either. And now you're going to play against this Florida State's defense. That's really, really tough up front. It's going to be able to put pressure on the football and can cover in the back end. I like Florida State here in this spot. I know it's going to be going into Death Valley. I know it's going to be loud and crazy and ruckus, but I feel like Florida State of these last few years has stepped up in these big situations and big moments and have showed out. So as long as the young fella, I think it's the quarterback for Florida State, is it Trevor? Travis, I'm sorry about that. For Travis, as long as he can minimize his turnovers or bad plays that he has sometimes throughout the game, I think this Florida State team will be able to control this tempo and be able to win this game. I like that short line at 2.5. You can probably even look at money line here when it's at 2.5. Maybe a little more juice, but I like the 2.5 here. I like Florida State to win this game. It should be close because I think it'll be more of a defensive battle. I see more like a 24, give or take 14, maybe 28-17 type game, Florida State.
Is Travis hurt? I know the last game he hurt his shoulder. Is he still hurt? Or I know he came back and they won that game.
Yeah, so it was his wrist, I believe, but I think he's fine.
Throwing wrist or I'm assuming?
It was the opposite wrist.
Oh, it was the opposite wrist? Okay. All right.
But
I saw that. I saw him coming out of the game, but then I know he came back and obviously they pulled it off. Yeah, I don't have a side on this game. I know Clemson, like you already said, was on the rebuild mode. The quarterback there, I forget his last name, but I know his first name's Cade. Haven't really watched a lot of Clemson ball this year, so I know it's tough out there, and like you said, in Death Valley. I like the line. I think the line's a little bit shorter. Maybe it should be 3.5. So I don't, Sharp, if this line was 3.5, would you get a lot of Clemson backers here? I still think you would get Florida State backers. So, even if it was 3.5, I think you would still bet Florida State 3.5.
If it was 3.5, it would be a pros versus Joe game. So you'd have public betting on Florida State. Majority of your tickets would be Florida State. Majority of your money would be Clemson.
Yep. And I think mainly because it's going to be a defensive battle. I think Clemson has a good front defensive line. They're going to be able to attack more, put pressure on Florida State.
You also have to remember that 3.5. Part of public betting is teasers, and more pros are betting teasers than ever. So you have to watch teaser lines. Like if you just all of a sudden hang 3.5 and 4, you're susceptible to pushing it to 10.5 in a big money teaser and get got. So, you'll see a lot more 2.5s than ever, and kind of forcing someone to push it to a full 3. That way they can get covered by the teaser. So books are smart. It's a new market. You got to look at just there's the mechanics of betting is different than just always what you think the outcome of a sporting event's going to be.
And that's why we call him CSharp. All right, it's right in front of our face. So you got the comm, you got the mic. CSharp, next best bet, Oklahoma, Cincinnati. Talk to me.
Again, if you want to buy the half point, you can. It's not going to matter. Cincinnati, they can't score. They're certainly not going to be able to score with OU. OU can score absolutely at will. This is one of the 5 best offenses in the country. I don't care who they've played. I've seen them in person. I've seen their all-22. I've seen the best offenses in the country. This team is cooking with gas. Before the season, I said this was my dark horse to get to the playoffs. I'm just going to keep firing. They're going to keep covering. It just doesn't matter. They blew past a 40-point spread of Tulsa, and Tulsa's pretty good. Tulsa hung with Washington, and OU just laughed at them. I think OU would beat Washington right now. I would take OU if you put them – now that I've seen both. I've seen both all 22 against the same opponent. I'm telling you right now, OU would dog walk Washington. OU would dog walk USC. So OU, if OU was, I think OU is a top 5 team right now based on tape, what I've seen, pass rush, offense. Their secondary is probably the most improved unit in the entire country for any team. Man, this game's going to get out of hand. Cincinnati's just struggling. Cincinnati got into a rock fight with Pittsburgh. They're going to get the doors blown off.
So you said something that I know you've been talking about it before, and obviously this line's probably dropped. OU right now to make the playoffs is 5-1. What do you boys think about that? Let me bring up their schedule real quick. What are the tough games left on?
It's
for
Texas.
OU?
That's it. Both those teams are gonna beat the brakes off the rest of the Big 12.
Yeah, I just want to bring them up here.
The
Is
Big
it at
12's down.
Texas?
Kansas State, those teams are all down. Baylor's down. TCU's down. Tech isn't as good as I thought. I mean, this is literally mom and dad, everyone else get out of the way because this is about to be a domestic dispute.
And I think that's the best case scenario, really. But sometimes you always have that Kansas State upset. Some reason.
Yeah, that's not
Kansas
happening
State
this year. I
always
just watched
pops into
Kansas
that.
State. I just watched Kansas State struggle with Missouri. They're going to get absolutely throttled by OU and Texas. I mean, throttled.
There's no Kansas State on this schedule.
Well,
Cincinnati.
on they
OU.
play Texas. Well, I'm saying if they were to play them in the Big Ten, like whoever's that comes through in the championship.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, because it's Cincinnati at Cincinnati, right. Home for Iowa. I think home for Texas is huge, right? Versus home for UCF, then at Kansas, at Oklahoma State, home for West Virginia, at BYU, and home for TCU.
That schedule's unbelievably easy.
I kind of like this bet here, Sharp. Now that you're talking me into it, and at 5-1, I mean, you know, we got Georgia here, right? Florida State looks right. Ohio State. Who's the fourth that you would take over Oklahoma?
I mean, the Big 12 is going to be represented. I'm just telling you, Texas and OU are really, really good.
Michigan,
really good.
Never mind. I see. Now that I'm looking at it, because you still got Michigan out there, obviously Texas in the Big 12 as well, and then Georgia, Florida State, and then Ohio.
Here's my thing why I kind of like it. If you did like the future, the nail's already in the coffin that the SEC is not getting 2 teams. Like that's already. You can see it on tape. There's no good second SEC team. There just isn't. Tennessee's gosh awful. Joe Milton stinks. I mean, just stinks. He probably needs 14 years and he still might not be a draftable quarterback, but that's just a stray. I probably should have said it. Okay. But the SEC stinks. It's really just it only comes down to whether you think the Big 12's getting 2 teams in or you think the Pac-12's getting 2 teams in. I'm not super impressed with Ohio State right now. I'm not super impressed with Michigan right now. I love OU. Getting back to this bet, like this is just free money. Cincinnati's going to get an ass whooping. This spread should be. If this spread was 21.5, I'd still be firing on OU.
Yeah, I think all our bets are really like I'm not here. Like I can't even think of a counteract to any of the bets that we're putting out.
Last week to me was a stay away from college, and I was really, really heavy in the NFL. This week is polar opposite. I'm totally staying away from the NFL. I'll have one bet. I like the Seahawks. I'll tell you that right now. Seahawks are going to – Bryce Young going at the 12 for the first time in his career. That team's not scoring any points. I'm telling you right now. Carolina's going to get mollywopped. But outside of that, I don't like the NFL slate. I think every line is sharp, extremely sharp. They messed up in college. Just like last week, they hung some really bad NFL lines, letting the Kansas City Chiefs be that short of a favorite, letting the Vikings be over 2 scores to a struggling Eagles team. They hung some really bad lines. This week, they did the same. They hung some really, really bad college lines, and we're going to make them pay.
I like it. I like it. And I'm going to my next best bet. And Diddy, you actually had me looking at this team. I was on them maybe a year or 2 ago betting them, but coming right back with your Dukers. I like Duke here against UConn. I think I like Duke here actually first half, and I like Duke here. I'm looking at the team total, but this Duke defense is going to swarm this UConn offense. This UConn offense really can't score. Duke right now has only given up 9 points per game. Um, I think that's up there top 10 in the country. They have a top 5 rushing offense, and you have good defense, the good rushing offense, dual threat quarterback with Leonard. And UConn is giving up 27 points. This is going to be a tough day for UConn, in my opinion. I like Duke here. I'm taking Duke first half minus 10 points. Bring that up.
Yeah, I like that. You said minus 10?
Oh, shit. It jumped up already. God damn. Minus 11 and a half.
You guys got to stop giving out the good bets.
Yeah, that's the first half, right?
Yeah, that's the first half. That's a big jump. So it was a point and a half.
I wouldn't let that scare you away. That just means smart money's on the same way you are.
Yeah, no, I'm not letting it scare me away. It was even. It's even money now,
that is a noticeable change.
That's a pretty noticeable change with the one and it was. I saw it at 10. Might have been 10 and a half for the other books, but now it's at minus 11 and a half. I'm not going to let it scare me away. I'm still taking the Dukes first half. I don't have any trust in this UConn team. This UConn team is absolutely terrible, and I think Duke keeps rolling here. It's going to be. I'm just trying to think, how do they score? Like, Duke's going to control the ball, running the ball, and it's just like I don't know how UConn is really going to score here against the Blue Devils.
What about UConn team total to under 10 and a half?
Whew. 10 and a half?
10 and a half. They're going to score. They're going to score 2 touchdowns.
Man, that's low.
I like the first half.
I mean,
bet.
Hey, Duke's my 18th ranked team. One of my better ranked defenses. Man, I'm starting to think that 10 and a half is looking pretty good.
Yeah, I like that first half bet for you. I mean, for me too. I didn't look at the first half for Duke. I think they'll be up 21-3, maybe 21-0.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking. 17-3.
Yeah.
Something like that. The only thing that I was going to take the line, the only thing that kind of took me away was obviously how Duke plays, but the look ahead of Notre Dame is right there. Right. There's a big look ahead spot against Notre Dame for Duke.
Yeah, but sometimes, Nate, when you go into competitions like that, you're trying. What's our goals, right? When we used to play, it's like, yo, let's get this game done early so we can.
And that's why I did the first half bet. That's exactly why I did the first half bet.
Yeah, that's kind of like what it is.
Let's get these boys out of here. Let's go home.
Right.
You know what I mean? What Kenny said? Let's go home.
I'm doing it, man. Under 10 and a half, best bet. I just placed it. Give it to me.
There you go. There you go, Sharpie. I like it.
I mean, just look at the numbers. UConn 1.5. They're telling you what to bet. Look, this is just betting mechanics for you. UConn team total touchdowns over 1.5 plus 150. Under 1.5 200. They're telling you this team's not going to score 2 touchdowns. So you're going to tell me that this team's going to score? They're not going to score 2 touchdowns, but they're going to score a touchdown and 2 field goals? No way. No way. No chance. This team is not scoring more than 10 points. They'll probably land right on 10. They're going to get their ass whooped like 45-10, maybe 38-10. They're not getting over 10 points. They barely got to 17 versus a non-power 5 team. Duke's not going to look ahead that much. And Duke runs the clock. Duke is a team. Duke is a team not to like call the dogs off and let you score. They call the dogs off by like going for it on 4th and 1 and then draining 4 more minutes off the clock. That's how Duke wins.
Yeah, exactly.
So lock it up for me. Give me under 10 and a half UConn, one of my better bets. That's kind of a live bet right there. Just kind of going off what you guys see. That's just too good a value. They shouldn't have hung 10 and a half. They should have just put it right at 10 and I wouldn't have touched it. Bad line.
I like it. All right, Brent, Diddy, let's go back to you. Let's go back to the home, back on our home turf. Talk to me. Miami, Temple.
Yeah. This game, I'm kind of like more of a strong lean here. I've been looking at Miami. I'm not like I said. It's kind of like it's a couple teams out here I just don't really have super confidence in. But Miami has really shown me a lot over these past few weeks, how they address the game and how they've been able to be offensively on the field. So I like Temple. Temple's going to be struggling against this game. I know it's a home field game, but I like the first half here. We can get in here that's short enough for me. I don't know what that number would be right now, or at least by the time kickoff is. But we could take a look at that first half. It looks like
12
it's
and a half.
12 and a half. Yeah, that might
Yeah.
be a little short for me. So I'm going to stay off this game right now. There's too much other stuff on the book. So for me in discipline and even to our viewers, sometimes we don't feel comfortable. Just it's okay. It's okay to just not see what you like and say, yeah, nah, I'll wait. But I do have a lean that Miami will cover first half. It won't be a bet for me, though, at the moment.
Okay. All right. Let's keep it moving. Sharp, USC, Arizona State. What you got?
Well, kind of going with what I've been going with. You know, they beat the brakes off Stanford, and I'm telling you right now, I think Arizona State is only bringing 50 scholars. They're so short. I don't even know how to describe it. Like I think they have like, if they were an NFL team, they would have like 17 to 18 key players on IR. That's like true fact. Like they're down to like 60 scholarship players that they can dress for this game. I mean, Stanford's better than Arizona State. This is pretty simple. Caleb Williams trying to win Heisman. I mean, you just saw what they did to Stanford. And it's going to be keeping up with the Joneses. They're going to know that we already know Oregon's going to baptize Colorado on national TV. And so what USC is going to do is, we got to keep pace. Lincoln Riley knows that. This game's going to get out of hand. He's not going to call the dogs off. You could buy it down to 34.5 if you want. Just like on the other ones, if you wanted to buy Maryland from 7.5 to 7 to protect the push, or if you wanted to get this to 34.5, I'm all for that. And just get it off the key number. Do that here. They're going to cover 34.5. I'm just telling you right now, they're going to win by 5 or 6 touchdowns. Just simple. Just keep it simple. They're just this game's not going to be close at any point.
Yeah, I think is the old Michigan quarterback over in Arizona State?
Yeah.
Paid? Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that before. Yeah, they're terrible.
But they're like, dude, they're down to like their entire backup line. Both tackles are gone, starting centers out, starting tight ends out, starting receivers out. Their 2 best defensive linemen are out. Their best off-ball linebackers out. Their best cover safeties out. Like, if this were an NFL team, like they wouldn't even hang a line. You know, it'd be like, well, our whole team's on IR. What are we going to do?
Right.
Unfortunately, you can't do that in college. You're just going to have to roll out some dude against USC who's got 4- and 5-star athletes. And, I mean, this is just going to be like a 56-10 game. Keep it simple.
I like it. I like simple wins. No sweat wins, too.
Keep it simple.
Love it. Keep it simple. All right, that's next best bet. I saw my best bet out here, actually. It was right down there, right at the same time of that clock. And I'm surprised none of you boys talked about this Washington team. I'm going back on the train with Washington against Cal here. I like Washington's team total. Michael Penix is just he's playing out of his mind right now. He is playing out of his mind, leading the nation in passing yards as of right now. And I just don't see Cal slowing this Washington offense in that altitude. Just not happening. So give me team total Washington over 40 points. I thought that was a little bit too low, 40.5. I'm going to be paying a little bit of juice with the minus 125 line. But if I'm not mistaken, and let me bring up my other notes here, I think they've hit this 2 out of the last 3. Well, it's only been 3 games, but I'm pretty sure Washington's put up over 40 points in the 2 last games. And then I don't think they did it in the first game. They might have. Let me bring that up real quick. Yeah, they hit in every game this so far. They're 3-0 against this type of spread. They put 56 on Boise. They put 43 on Tulsa. And then they just beat up, like we talked about early in the pod, 41 in Michigan State. Now we go back home to Cal, who's not good at all. Pac-12 opener here. Come on. Give me Penix at home. I think this gets ugly real quick. Cal beat bad teams, North Texas and Idaho, and lost to Auburn. And now they got to go on the road to Washington. It's going to get ugly. I like team total, though. I like Washington keep scoring points, and that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, this is in my teaser. You're gonna when we come to my teaser, my big money teaser is gonna be teasing the big three, Pac-12 lines, just teasing them down. So I'm with you. I think that's a good bet. So if you want to take it straight up too, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm
So,
not.
Nate,
I'm not. Yeah,
So just historically, I know that you said the team
I
total,
saw
right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, just historically, Cal usually has pretty tight defense the way they play.
That was to say that's their one thing. Cal does have an
Yeah,
above average Power 5 defense,
yeah,
especially in the secondary. So, like matchup wise, I can see why this is 21 when maybe it would appear it should probably be 26. I think that's just a matchup thing. So my bad, Diddy, but you are right. Go ahead there. That was like spot
yeah.
on.
Defensively, they play pretty tough. They play everybody pretty tough. They're one of those sneaky teams that you think that you'll be able to cover, and there's some reasons like how the hell did Cal cover this spread? So just be mindful of that when you're saying team total for the Washington game. I think Washington's capable of putting up 41 points, but historically they have not. I don't know. When I look back at the data in history playing Cal, I don't know if they've hit 40 ever.
Well,
So just be
what's his Penix 8 year? His eighth
Yeah.
year or something
yeah,
crazy?
yeah. I'm just saying there's something to look at when you're looking at your data. Just know that Cal usually plays stout defense, and this is a Pac-12 game, so they're very familiar with each other.
Yeah, and I looked back at what Penix did last year, and kind of going what you're saying. The game was a little bit tighter. Here at 20, I think it was 2021 when I saw it last year. But when I looked at Cal's offense this year, I felt like they took a step back compared to what it was last year. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I think Washington's going to get more opportunities to score. And the way Penix is playing this year, we're going for the Heisman, right? Like this is nothing. Like I don't think he was at this level he was last year. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I like Michael Penix. I do. I mean, I'm just looking at the trends over the last 10 years.
Yeah,
They've won over 40 twice, and they
yeah,
play every year. So just be mindful.
yeah. No, I get that. It was more fading. I get the defensive part, but it was more fading the well, I wasn't aware of the defensive part. Let me put that back. Let me just be honest. But it was fading the take was fading Cal's offense because I know they have the what's his name, Jackson. I think they have a TCU transfer that came in, and he's not that good. He's just not that he's just period that good. So I see Washington getting more opportunities to score, and I think they'll be able to capitalize on that.
Mm-hmm.
So appreciate the criticism there and breaking it down for me. Because it might save me some money, might not.
That's what it's
Right?
about. That's what it's about.
Yes, sir. Yes,
No,
sir.
I mean, but I think
right.
this is a keeping up with the Jones week. I'm telling you, like if that's your theme, like bet the theme. Like I usually win money when I bet themes in college. And if your theme is this week is every guy that's in the Heisman race wants to hold serve, then bet big. Like Dylan Gabriel, Heisman race, needs a blowout. If you're Bo Nix, this is your chance to mollywop Shador Sanders out of the Heisman race and keep up with Penix and keep up with Caleb Williams. So I love where you're thinking, Moss. Like this is that week where those 4 Pac-12 quarterbacks and Dylan Gabriel throw all those Heisman guys in the mix. They're all sitting on those 14-point, 21-point spreads. Their coaches know that individually they need to look good. So they're going to put up points and they're going to keep scoring. So like just keeping up your Jones's theme. Like I don't think Washington is going to let up on the gas. I just do think Cal has the best. Like if I'm handicapping the game, I think Cal has a better chance of hanging within 21 than Colorado, solely off scheme and amount of NFL bodies they're going to be able to throw in the secondary. Now, if Travis Hunter was in the game, I would say that Colorado has a better chance to hang within 21.
Okay. All right, Diddy, take us home on the straight bets. Oregon State, Washington State. Talk to me.
We're staying in the Pac-12, man. It seems like we get a lot of Pac-12 love over here, baby.
Yeah.
A lot of Pac-12 love. Yeah, man. Once again, this is game 1 of the conference play for a lot of teams in Pac-12. Washington State, Oregon State. You know, I'm big on Washington State. and you're going to give me this line here, I'll take it all day long. You're going to give me plus points, especially if it's at 3. When it gets to 2.5, then maybe not, but I'm going to take it right now at Washington State at home, playing against Oregon State. I know DJ Ungale has been playing pretty well for Oregon State. A new offense for him. I think an offense that's kind of that helped him produce than what it was in Clemson. I think they were asking a lot from him in Clemson, so he transferred over to Oregon State. Good for him in making that move. But Washington State at home is a very, very tough place to play. Washington State has been playing very, very well. I want to say is Cameron Ward has been out there, who's completed 72% of his passes, thrown for 9 touchdowns and just about under 1,000 yards passing. I think that's going to continue against this Oregon State team at home. The fans going to be behind them. It's going to be a night game, prime time. Give me Washington State on a plus points at 3. If you want to go 3.5, you can buy that half a point to go up. I love Washington State here, and be mindful. I think Washington State can possibly make a run at the Pac-12, just if things go right. They're going to need some upsets, obviously, but they have the team that can do that. Defensively, they're pretty stout around the defensive side of the ball. They get at you on the D line too, so I think that's going to be the difference here in this game.
I like it. I actually have Washington State in my teaser. So
yeah, I like money line here because you don't get plus money. I like them to win outright at home.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This is a game where I would just take money line. Like I wouldn't even take the points. Like I would either, if you're taking the points, do it in a teaser to get cross 2 scores, or just take money line because that's the way I see it. Like either Washington State's going to win this, game, or they're going to lose by a field goal. So the push kind of kills you. So to me, it's either tease it up over 2 scores where you feel great about a home dog catching 2 points that you think can win, and take money lines that you give yourself like a 13-point window to hit. Like that's how I would attack.
So my rules are usually if the line's at 2.5, then I'll go money line. Once I get over to 3.5, then I'll usually take the points just because the line is telling me to take the points. I do, like you said, I think this game is going to be a Washington State game at home. So yeah, if it gets to 2.5, I'm going money line all the way.
All right. That is the end of our.
I do have a couple. I don't know. I do have 2 more real quick.
What, straight bets?
Yes.
Oh, take it away, brother. Look at his face. He wants it.
Yes. This is gonna be a big week. I've been waiting on certain information, and I got it over the last 90 minutes. I'm locking and loading on UNLV -2.5. This line is way too short. UTEP's probably one of the worst teams in all of college football. This isn't going to be close. This is going to be free money. This should be several unit bet here. Just do me like I like Vanderbilt. They're decent. They're bottom of the barrel SEC team, right? But okay, UNLV hung 40 on Vanderbilt. UTEP can't score 40 in 2 months. This game's going to get out of hand. I don't care that it's at UTEP, UNLV -2.5. This is probably the best bet of the day, honestly. This is just
wow.
It up.
Okay.
I mean, just do me a favor. Let's go through UTEP. Is Northwestern any good? Because UTEP only scored 7 versus Northwestern. They lost 38-7. Is Arizona any good? Because UTEP lost 31-10. Is Incarnate Ward any good? Because UTEP was tied going into the last drive of the game with Incarnate Ward. Guys, this is the worst team in college football. They should be +10 to every single team. UNLV's not that bad. This is the best bet of the day. Lock and load.
I think I might have to tell you on that.
I think I'm going to add a little gun clip. Every time you say lock and load, it's going to be a on the back. All right, come on, Sharp. Keep them coming then. You got more in the clip. Boy.
And this is another one that I was doing as I was building my teaser. I like Northwestern, kind of the game. I've got a good feel for all these teams. I've watched all their all-22s. Some of these teams have played each other now. Northwestern, we just talked about. They're terrible, right? We've all seen them play. They can't score. Well, somehow they scored 38 points on UTEP. Well, guess what I can assure you they're not doing? They're not scoring 38 points on Minnesota. The total is 38. I still would probably take the under on 38 there because I don't think Northwestern can score, and I don't think Minnesota can score on Northwestern. This is a good old-fashioned 16-13, 13-10 rock fight, and this is where Vegas hung a bad line. Minnesota's team total is 24.5. I have no idea why. 24.5 for Minnesota. Go look at some of their box scores and show me what you see. They're probably just as bad of an offense as UTEP. So this game won't even touch 38, I don't think, but I'm going to throw that in a teaser. But what you want to lock up right now is Minnesota team total under 24.5. This game's going to be like 16-13.
All right, Sharp. I mean, you feeling yourself, man? Hit me with the
I'm
teaser,
telling you,
brother.
this is like
Let's
NFL
go.
last week. I just like these lines. I'm fading another team here. Give me Western Kentucky. Troy is gosh awful. Western Kentucky is one of the better offenses in the country. Their problem was they played a pissed off Ohio State team that absolutely dogged walk them. And so that's what everyone thinks. Everyone forgets what Western Kentucky did the first 2 weeks of the year. And do yourself a favor and go look at how Troy's played this year. I'll pull that up while you're pulling up the spread. Troy football this year is an absolute disaster. They can't do anything right. It's 3.5 now. I'm trying to price it out and see if I can find a 3 anywhere. I'm not even worried about the 3.5. I have this power rated at 7. I would probably even still take it at 7.5. Troy is so bad, guys. Like this is one of the, I get now that we're 3 weeks in, and that's kind of why I sent you my rankings. I don't ever like to be week to week like I am in the NFL because these guys aren't professionals. So I like to give them 3 weeks and see if they've improved. I mean, Troy lost 42-13 to Kansas State and then turned around and lost to James Madison last week, guys. James Madison, 16-14. Western Kentucky is one of the more prolific offenses that's not in the big Power 5. This game's going to get out of hand. Vegas just wanted us to, I guess, print money this week.
I doubt that.
Well, what did I say? Last week they didn't want us to print money in the NFL, and they hung some bad lines, and we got them, right? That we got them with Josh Allen to absolutely beat the brakes off the Raiders. We told them to take every Josh Allen prop. We said the Vikings was a bad number. We said there's no way the NFL will even let the Chiefs start out 0-2. That was free money. I mean, I just think occasionally the NFL and Vegas hangs bad lines because they're so focused on the other thing. And this week, last week they got crushed in the NFL. So they did all their research on NFL. This last week, they didn't get crushed in college because no one bet college. So they just went with status quo lines, and we're going to catch them.
Man, Sharp's on fire. Hate to take the mic from you and pass it over here, but I got to because I think we're going a little bit long on the show. So Diddy, run down the teasers. Let's go.
Yeah, man. I got 3 teasers for you guys. We're going to start with a totals teaser. Those 3 team teasers, we're going to go SMU versus TCU under 63.5. That means we're going to bring that up a 10 points to 73.5. I think both these teams are going to be tight in the box. I know we think of these teams as being more high-powered offenses. I've seen over the last few weeks that SMU is not what we thought they were, or at least they're not putting it into the box. And same for TCU. I think TCU is the same team that is kind of rebuilding and kind of finding their way. So under 73.5 for me there is one of my best plays. We're going to marry that with the Notre Dame, Ohio State over, which is set at 55.5. We're going to bring that down to 45.5, right? And we're going to make sure that we go over that. I think these are going to be 2 powerful offenses. Ohio State can throw up points at will. And Notre Dame has put us over the past 3 weeks that they're not scared either. They've been putting up a lot of points also. So give me those 2 plays right there for our teaser.
Was this the under? Was the under,
This
right?
is for the Notre Dame is going to be the over.
No, I'm sorry. The SMU, TCU under.
SMU under 73. And then
okay.
the Ohio State, Notre Dame is going to be the over.
Yep, I got it in there.
And then,
Yep.
and then we're going to go with the final one with that one. We're going to go San Jose State, Air Force, and we're going to go under 57.
10-point teaser.
10-point teaser. We're going to go under there. As we know, the Falcons are going to be to move the ball, move the chains. They're going to be focused on the ground. They're 120th, 29th in explosivity as far as their offense. So I don't see a whole lot of action coming off on that side of the ball. And I think San Jose State's going to be home, and they're going to try to control the clock here too. So I like this being under 57 points.
Nice.
That's the first teaser.
Yep, keep it going.
Second teaser is going to be a team teaser. So we're going to go same 10-point teaser. Iowa is set playing at Penn State for the whiteout. Very, very tough environment. I think Iowa's kind of built for that, though. They're a defensive-led football team. They're getting 14.5 points. We're going to go up 10 points for that. We're going to go 24.5 at Penn State.
And it's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain.
Oh, yes, and we got some rain coming in. You're absolutely right. So we'll go Iowa plus 24 at Penn State. I think defensively they'll be able to keep them in, keep this game close, keep it tight. I think Penn State will win, but I don't think they're going to be able to cover the 24.5.
That was the sharpest line of the week, by the way. I think that was the best line. No one's touching that line. That's exactly where that spread should be.
Mm-hmm. Then we're going to go UNC playing at Pitt. I love this USC team. They're going against Pitt. Pitt is not having a good season right now. They've struggled offensively. They had a big battle last week against West Virginia, which is their rival. And then they got to come up against this UNC high-power offense. The line is set at 7.5. Give me UNC at plus 2.5 with that 10-point teaser pretty much to win here in Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a little too much offense for Pittsburgh's defense, and I see UNC kind of leaving out of Pittsburgh with a victory. I might be going to that game. We shall see. Then we're going to bring that with JMU. Minus 6.5 is the line against Utah State, who sucks. We're going to get JMU at plus side of 3.5, so you get that hook even if this game gets close. Which, if it could, I think JMU has an offense that can fight to the last minute, and they'll be able to cover this 3.5. So we're going to go Iowa plus 24.5, UNC plus 2.5, and JMU plus 3.5 with a 10-point teaser. That's my second teaser, and then my final one.
Go ahead.
Is a 4-point, 13-point teaser. I'll keep this quick because I know we're running over time. We already spoke about Oklahoma at Cincinnati. We all think that Oklahoma is going to bomb Cincinnati at Cincinnati. That's going to bring a 13-point teaser from 4.5. We'll bring Oklahoma to 1.5, minus 1.5, which is pretty much to win the game. I like them over Cincinnati there. We're going to marry that with Ole Miss versus Bama. We've seen Bama struggles. I know they're getting their quarterback back. I believe last week he didn't play at all. They struggled offensively against a terrible South Florida team, but that's just not an offensive issue. South Florida was able to move up and down that field. They just didn't put the ball in the box or able to score. There was a couple of rain situations going on there too. But give me Ole Miss, who I know that can put up points, plus 20. The line is at 7.
What you do to me? Not touching
But
it.
this is a Lane Kiffin offense, man. Lane Kiffin is biting at the nip to beat Bama. I think he's going to be highly motivated to get his team ready to play. And I think get them 20 points. I don't see this Bama team.
But Saban losing twice at home?
I didn't say they're going to lose.
This is different. This is different. But Saban twice at home? He's going to have them boys ready to play this game.
I didn't say they're going to lose, but I said 20 points to Ole Miss, a team that can put up points. Give me 20 points. I don't see this Bama offense beating a team like more than 20 points, especially Ole Miss.
Okay.
That's where I see. So we're going to go up 20. Then we're going to go Arizona playing I don't know what the hell this Stanford team is. You talk about one of the worst teams in college football. Stanford might be one of the worst teams in college football. Give me Arizona to win at minus 12. We're going to take that down to 13 points, so we're with them to plus 1. Arizona at Stanford, easy win there. I think Arizona covers that. And then we'll go back to that Minnesota game. I like Minnesota to beat Northwestern and Chicago. I think it's going to play right in their hands. They're a run-heavy team. They'll be able to control the tempo, control the clock. Northwestern can't score. I believe Minnesota's the better offense that can either put the ball in the box. All we're asking is to win. So we're bringing them down to plus 1.5. So we're going to go Oklahoma State to minus 1.5 against Cincinnati, Ole Miss plus 20 against Bama, Arizona plus 1 against Stanford, and Minnesota plus 1.5 against Northwestern.
I like it. Running off them teasers, running them hot. All right, I got one teaser, so I'll go Sharp. I know you got a couple to finish this off. I'm double dipping into kind of really all my plays were. I won't even put them up, but I have a 4-team 13-point teaser going right back to where my first bet of the day was, which was Duke. And then I'm going to Oregon, taking Washington State. And because I have a future bet on them already, so I need them to win, but Florida Atlanta is terrible. Give me Illinois. I'll take Illinois to get the get the win today. I know that I forget the quarterback's name off the top of my head, but I know he's been struggling of late, especially with his turnovers a little bit here. But I think they're good enough to beat this Florida Atlantic team, just at least to win the game. And Illinois' defense still has this a somewhat of a good defense. It's just a shame they couldn't do anything against Kansas last week. Kind of weird game. Actually, no, Kansas just beat the brakes off them, and they got 2 late scores in the fourth quarter. So I might switch to Illinois with some of the picks that I've heard, but as of right now, that is my 4-team 13-point teaser. I really want to put Rutgers in there. I know Harbaugh's coming back against Michigan, so a lot of juice in the big house for this game. But if I'm not mistaken, the last time these teams played in Michigan, that was a really close game. Now, a little bit different. I think Pacheco was there for Rutgers. I think it was about 2 years ago. So they do have a decent running back, not Pacheco-esque, but good defenses, run the ball. I don't see – and Michigan hasn't beaten anybody, I don't think, at least by over 40 points or close to it yet. So was really tempted with Rutgers, but I'll leave it alone. So I know, Sharp, you got a couple, and then we'll get everybody out of here. Take us home, Sharp. What's up?
Yeah. So this is 4-team, 13-point super teaser, just so we're clear on because I kind of how I talked about the earlier game. I was taking Western Kentucky money line. I think they beat Troy outright. They were plus 3.5, but I like them money line plus 150. So just making sure we were clear on that. I don't think I was clear. I was trying to pull up the numbers. I'm taking them to win. I think they beat Troy by multiple scores. I don't care about the points. But I am going to protect that bet. So as one of my legs, give me Western Kentucky teased all the way to plus 16.5.
Yep.
You take 70.5 in the Colorado game, and you tease it all the way up to 83.5, and you take the under. Perfect. Yep. You take Northwestern in Minnesota. I already talked about it. I like under 38 straight up, but I didn't give it out as one of my best bets because I built this big money teaser. You take that from 38. You push it all the way up to 51. You take the under.
Where is that Northwestern game? There it is. Yep.
And then last but not least, Diddy mentioned it. I'm taking Ohio State, Notre Dame. 2 good offenses. I think the line's pretty sharp. I think it would actually go, I think it goes over the 45 on its own. So, I mean, if you're teasing it way down to 13, you're getting 13 down to below 45 on a 13-point teaser. I mean, even if it's a 24-21 game that's going over.
So, Sharp, I don't know if the totals go to 13. You just double check. I think it maxes at 10 points, but you could just double check just before you 13. Think. So the total goes to 13 points too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
Because I've been doing them on DK. That's why I built this one. The reason I built this one is because it gets that Notre Dame, Ohio State. Okay. If somehow it's that rock fight 24-21 no one expects, this teaser still hits.
Some books only allow you to go down to like 10 points.
I agree. DraftKings is really good about opping. And now they give you that 140 juice. So if you lose, you lose.
Yeah.
This to me, guys, is just free money. I think Western Kentucky wins outright. We already talked about without Travis Hunter, there's no way this game's getting to 83. Hell, even if Oregon scores 60, that game's not going over. And then I think the rest are kind of self-explanatory. Man, this teaser, there's no way this teaser's losing.
Ooh, big words, man. I hate those words. But you know what I did? I took out Illinois on my teaser, just to be clear for everybody. I know I didn't put it up, but I'll put it up real quick. and then we'll get everybody out of here. I've totally forgot about OU on my teaser, so I'm going to let me just throw
Yeah, I
my
like that
teaser
better
up.
than Illinois.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the. So I had Duke, and then I had where's that? Duke, Oregon, and then I had where you at? Where you at? What time is that? Yeah, Oklahoma. I thought it was a 12 o'clock game. Oklahoma, and then your Washington State game. I think it's a late game, right?
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to watch that game. That's the game I'm looking. I still don't have a good feel for Oregon State or Washington State, and I can't wait to watch that game because I'm going to be able to handicap those two teams going forward.
So for my teaser, my super teaser, 13-point super teaser, we have Duke down to -8.5, Colorado down to -8.5, Oklahoma to -1, and then Washington State up to +13. Fellas, I don't know about y'all, and I hate to say stuff like this. No, actually, no, I don't hate to say stuff like this. But is it possible to sweep? Like everybody gets a sweep?
Something will happen, but I'm telling you, like I said about last week, I felt so good about NFL that I was like, you got to go big on these units. This is how I feel about college. I don't have a single unit bet this week in college. It's all big bets.
Everything's strong, bro. Like everything's super strong. All the takes were super strong. I probably had, I won't lie, I probably had the weakest take with the Washington team total, even though I still like the bet. But other than that, nobody had no qualms about any other body's bets. Like, no, maybe not, and just being honest with ourselves. So I really like all the bets. I hope the viewers, as you guys are watching, I hope you guys like all the bets. I apologize for the longness of this show. We're trying to keep it a little bit shorter, but, I mean, when there's money to be made, there's money to be made.
We didn't have many bets last week. This was going to be a long one.
Yeah, so I think that's it, man. So if you aren't following, if you aren't subscribing, please hit the subscribe button. I see thousands of people watching this show each and every week. You got to hit the subscribe. You got to hit the notification so you know when we go live and we drop these gems for these bets. We always keep honest for ourselves. We always keep video receipts. I got the numbers running to show you guys how much money we're making each and every week on all these plays. For myself, MoneyPot Podcast and MoneyPot Betting, Moss Money. That's the homies, Diddy. That's the homie, Sharp. This is MoneyPot. This is MoneyPot Betting. Happy betting. Good luck.
Let's go, Phillies.